Hello, welcome to this video on profit maximizing output. What will we study in this video? Well, we'll have a look at marginal analysis and how marginal analysis is being used to calculate a firm's profit maximizing output. The firm can use marginal analysis to determine the profit maximizing output by looking at the marginal cost, which was the additional cost of producing one more unit, or by looking at marginal revenue, which was the indication of additional revenue of selling one more unit. Remember, as long as revenue exceeds cost, additional profit is made. Be sure to identify here marginal revenue exceeding marginal cost. Profit is maximized by producing the output at which marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Let's have a look at the following scenario. We have a sales price per unit of $350. The fixed costs for the firm are $30,000. The cost for one unit of labor are $2,000. Let's have a look at an output schedule. With a number of workers of 1, we have an output of 15 units per month. At 2 workers, we can produce 40, 3 workers, we can produce 70, and so on. If we then look at the increase per additional worker, from 1 to 2 workers, we can see that the increase is 40 minus 15 equals 25. If we go from 2 to 3 workers, the increase per additional worker is increasing to 30. This initial increase in output per additional worker is what we call the law of diminishing returns. At first you can see there's an increase, but at a certain stage you can see that the increase per additional worker is falling. So what is this law of diminishing returns? Within the law of diminishing returns, there is the assumption that fixed assets, and fixed assets are machinery and tools, cannot be increased in the short run, and therefore production capacity is limited. The idea? If you hire more workers, they can specialize in a process. But if you hire too many workers, they will be in each other's way. Let's have a look at how we determined marginal cost. If we hire one worker, and that worker produces 15 units of output, then our fixed costs are $30,000. Our variable cost of $2,000 are related to the salary that we have to pay for our worker. One worker will cost us $2,000. That brings our total in cost to $32,000. If we then calculate the average cost, we can see that the average is found by dividing total cost by the output per month. In this schedule, you can see that the variable costs increase. If we hire 2 workers, 2 times 2,000 is $4,000. If we hire 4 workers, 4 times 2 is $8,000. The fixed costs stay the same with output, so 30,000 no matter how many units we produce. Total cost is the addition of fixed cost and variable cost. As you can see, at first the average costs are falling, and after 6 units of output, 6 workers, as you can see, initially the average costs are falling, but at one stage, at 6 workers, it is increasing. This is where marginal costs are interesting to look at. If we're looking at the marginal cost, we've seen that it's the difference in total cost divided by the difference in output. So here, the difference in cost is 2,000. The difference in output is 25. Therefore, the marginal costs are 80. If we do that the same in the second row, again we'll find a difference of 2,000, but this time divided by 30. What you should notice is that as long as the marginal costs are below the average costs are falling. But as soon as the marginal costs exceed the average cost, the average goes up. We can do the same analysis for marginal revenue. Output is given, total revenue is found by multiplying the output by $350. You will not be surprised to find that the average revenue is $350, being total revenue divided by output. So how then do we then find marginal revenue? Again, it's the difference between total revenue and the difference in output. But as you will see, no matter which exercise we follow, it is always $350. In perfect competition, we can therefore say that the price equals average revenue, but is also equal to the marginal revenue. If we then look at the marginal analysis, we put them in one table, the conclusion is simple. The firm will produce up to the level where marginal revenue exceeds marginal cost. So as long as my marginal revenue are higher than my marginal cost, I will continue producing. So if this firm is given the opportunity to produce 145, it will find out that the marginal costs are exceeding marginal revenue, and it will therefore decide not to produce 145, yet 140 to maximize its profit. Double check. If we look at the total numbers, we can see that at 140, profit is 7,000, which is an increase from minus 26,750 up to 7,000. But as soon as we produce 5 units more, we still make a profit, but not as much as we could have. In the next video, we'll translate these figures into a diagram for a firm in perfect competition.